Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. Senator Lindsey Graham is with us from Kabul, Afghanistan. Good morning, Senator Graham. I want to start in a very broad way and just ask you, is the United States winning the war in Afghanistan?
Well, I think we've got the best chance to win. I don't think we can afford to lose the war. General Petraeus, when I asked that question, said counterinsurgency is not so much about winning. Each day is about making progress, and he thinks we are making progress. I can tell you this, John, this country, our nation, can't afford to lose in Afghanistan, and this is our last best chance to win.
But so in your mind, not quoting General Petraeus, but in your mind, are we winning?
I think we've got the formula of winning. I don't want to say that we've won or that's a very good question. I asked General Petraeus the same thing. I see progress and I see great areas of concern. I think we've got the right strategy now, and with the right team, we can win, and we are making progress, and that's about the best I can say.
Senator Graham, there's just been, of course, upheaval in the command in Afghanistan. General McChrystal is out, General Petraeus is in. Based on what you've seen, how's that going? What's the mood there with the troops?
Well, people are very disappointed that General McChrystal left. He was beloved by the troops. I'm very sad for him, but General Petraeus has hit the ground running. He's a hero among the troops. He knows the region better than any person I've ever met. So people are now focused, they're re-engaged, and they're all behind General Petraeus. The civilian side, I've had concerns about. Ambassador Eikenberry questioned whether or not the surge would work. He has a rocky relationship with President Karzai, but I was briefed by Petraeus and Ambassador Eikenberry. They seem to have a good working relationship. If everybody works together, I think General Petraeus presents our best chance to win in Afghanistan, and the troops think we can win. Morale is pretty good right now.
There's some question in Washington whether there might be a change in civilian leadership there, whether Ambassador Eikenberry might in fact stay. Based on the meeting you just had, do you think that they're going forward as a team together?
Yeah, they seem to be working very well, but this is the last best chance to get it right in Afghanistan, so I would urge the President and his White House team to make sure that they look at every aspect of Afghanistan, military and civilian, and make sure we've got our best team on the field. But they did give us a very good briefing. They seem to be on the same sheet of music, and Ambassador Eikenberry was a general over here in Afghanistan. He's a fine man, but General Petraeus needs unity and common purpose, and I hope we'll get that.
I want to talk to you about this July 2011 deadline that's been much discussed. Tell us your view on it and why this is a big deal to you.
Well, my view is that if the people in Afghanistan think we're going to begin to leave in July 2011, and the people in the region think we're going to begin to leave, we have no chance of winning a counterinsurgency. Counterinsurgency depends on the population getting off the fence coming our way. And if you send a signal to your enemies you're going to leave at a certain date, they'll wait to that date and wait you out, and people begin to hedge your bets and make side deals. So it's imperative that we let the world know, let the Afghan people know, the Taliban, Pakistan, all of our allies and all of our enemies, that we're not going to leave this country in chaos, that we're going to leave Afghanistan secure and stable. And we got to remember, John, why we're here. We're here because it is in our vital national security interest to secure this country. This is the place we were attacked from 9/11. I'm glad more Afghan girls are going to school. I'm glad the quality of life is improving. But the reason we came here was to secure America, and it's imperative that we show to our enemies and friends alike that we're not going to leave this country until we're more secure as a nation.
The counterinsurgency strategy has been going slower by everyone's account than expected or hoped by the military leaders. Has anyone in their briefings with you or in any conversation you've had said that this deadline of July 2011 for the withdrawal of troops has affected the pace of the counterinsurgency?
I think it has. We got briefed by people in Iraq. We stopped in Iraq and we were told by Iraqi politicians that people in the region are confused about what it means. I do believe next summer we can have transition in certain areas of Afghanistan. And no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to turn over part of Afghanistan by July 2011, but there'll be other parts of the country that will still be fighting and need a firm commitment. Yes, this idea of confusion and uncertainty about July 2011, it has hurt. It needs to be clarified, but I'm all for setting goals to transition to Afghan control. That's what we're here for. We're not here as an occupier, but this confusion is hurt among our friends, it's emboldened our enemies, and we need to get it right and get it clarified. Leaving Afghanistan is about America being safe, and we can't leave this country in chaos. We'll never be safe. This is not just some place on the map. This is the place where 9/11 was planned and executed. If the Taliban ever come back and take over all a part of this country, we'll never know peace. No one will help us in the future. The people that helped us here will get killed, and every jihadist in the world will be emboldened. So it's imperative that we win here, and the July 2011 date is undercutting our efforts unless it's clarified.
Senator Graham, you met with Vice President Biden there, and so did you talk to him about this? The administration says that all they're talking about is withdrawal based on conditions. The president's always said that from the beginning. So did you have this conversation with Biden, and what did he say?
Yes, I had a pretty reassuring conversation with the Vice President. I think he's got the right solution for Iraq. You know, they've had difficulty forming their government after the election. The Vice President's in Iraq today. I think he can get the parties together and help them form a new government. We won't pick the winners, but we can help them form a government and continue progress in Iraq. But when it comes to Afghanistan, he says he's completely behind General Petraeus. The problem is you had Rahm Emanuel, you've had David Axelrod and other people saying that July 2011 is a firm date to withdraw. What I want to hear from the White House and from the administration is come July 2011, we can evaluate our progress, and if you can transition, we will do so in certain areas, but everything will be conditions based. If we don't say that and mean it, people are going to hedge their bets and we're not going to be successful. But the Vice President reassured me that it would be conditions based. I take him at his word, and General Petraeus needs this monkey off his back. It's not fair to him and our troops and our civilian counterparts to be operating in Afghanistan with the belief that come July 2011 we're going to begin to withdraw no matter what. That can't be the way we leave this. That would be counterproductive, but I'm encouraged by what the Vice President told me.
Senator, I now want to ask you about Michael Steele, the chairman of the Republican Party, on this issue of Afghanistan. Speaking to some Republican candidates, he said, quote, keep in mind, again, federal candidates, this was a war of Obama's choosing. This was not something that the United States had actively prosecuted or wanted to engage in. He then went on to say that if the president was, quote, such a student of history, has he not understood that you know that the one thing you don't do is engage in a land war in Afghanistan? Your reaction, Senator?
Dismayed, angry, upset. It was an uninformed, unnecessary, unwise, untimely comment. If you're a student of history, you would know that America cannot afford to allow Afghanistan to go back into Taliban control. We're not here fighting a ground war to occupy this country. We're here to help Afghans who could live in peace with us. This is not President Obama's war. This is America's war. The deadline of July 2011 in terms of withdrawal has to be clarified, but I want to separate myself from that statement. And the good news is Michael Steele is backtracking so fast he's going to be in Kabul fighting here pretty soon. But I want to let my Republican Party know that we need to stand behind President Obama, criticize when we must, but this is America's war, and we can win this war. We must win this war. And I am glad to see that Michael Steele is retracting his statement, because it's not the Republican Party's position, my Republican Party position, and it was not helpful.
Senator, yes or no? Should he resign? People have called for it.
it's up to him to see if he can lead the Republican Party after this comment. I'm going to leave it up to the Republican National Committee. But I do praise him for clarifying the statement and retracting the statement, but it couldn't have come at a worse time.
Would you want him, if you were campaigning, out speaking for you? Should he be out there talking for Republican candidates in this election year?
I don't think he should be talking about Afghanistan in such uninformed terms. I hope he can get it behind him. We'll see if he can get it behind him. It's not about Michael Steele. It's not about the Republican Party. It's about this country. This is July the 4th. There are a lot of young men and women here spending July the 4th in Afghanistan for the second and third time. We all owe it to them to stand behind them and not turn this war into a political debate like Iraq was. I don't want to do to the Obama administration what happened to the Bush administration during Iraq.
Senator, I'm sorry that with the delay here, let's switch quickly to Elena Kagan. Are you going to vote for the Supreme Court?
I have not made my mind up yet, but I think she did a very good job. I know she is going to be a liberal in the mold of Justice Stevens, won't change the balance of the court. I think she's very qualified. I think she acquitted herself well at the hearings, but I'll let you know in a week or so.
What's left in your mind? You seem to have a great back and forth with her. She seemed to be intellectually honest. You seem to, what's left to think about?
There are a couple of areas about partial birth abortion and the role she played on a memo with the medical group about the policy statement they made. I need to look into that a little bit further, but your point is well taken. I think we did have a good exchange. She was more candid than most nominees, and overall I found her to be a very engaging, personable, highly intelligent person. And again, I expect President Obama to pick someone who is a liberal person, and she didn't deny she was progressive in her thought. At the end of the day, elections matter, so I'll let you know in a week or so.
All right, Senator Graham, happy 4th of July. Thanks for being with us, and we'll be back with you in a minute.